breaking news in the Premier League. Manchester United will be signing Casemiro for the fee around 60 to 80 million. The add-ons will play a factor in this. But out of nowhere, Manchester United, who just got battered by Brentford 4-0, loses to Brighton in the home opener 2-1, hasn't scored an actual goal from their players that isn't an own goal by the other team, ends up pulling in Casemiro, who's arguably the best center defensive midfielder in the world. Somehow, some way. Well, let me tell you that way. It is just the money. Casemiro is about to get a nice pay raise by the Glazers. Glazers saw all those Glazer out hashtags and they said, you know what would absolutely distract them? If we go out and buy a big name, and they did exactly that. They go and make some business with Real Madrid like they did with Varane. Big name player, sign them. Now on paper, this is a fabulous deal. Man United fans will no longer watch, McFred week in, week out. Now, Casemiro fits into the picture. Who's going to be his partners? You think Eriksen, Bruno, is Fred still going to be there? McTominay, what's his playing time? I mean, it's all over the place, but Casemiro, we'll see if he plays against Liverpool. Apparently, Man United want to get this deal done, officially by Friday in order to, get Casemiro registered and ready to play against Liverpool. It's a big game. Liverpool seems vulnerable. They haven't won a game as well as Man United, even though Liverpool's looked a lot better. But Man United, man, this is a big deal. Now, what do I think about this? I think this is great on paper for Man United because you get a problem that you've had for years is your center defensive midfield, and Fred and McTominay just haven't been good enough. You massively upgrade with a multiple time Champions League winner, Casemiro, and now you've got a competition in the midfield when Casemiro goes up against the likes of Fabinho, Rodri. Now you actually say, wow, this midfielder is on the level of Man City and Liverpool's level. You couldn't say that back then. You'd look at your midfield. Pogba was out injured or, doing whatever. He was just not focused on his football. And then, you see Fred and McTominay and you're like, yeah, these guys just not good enough to compete against the likes of Liverpool and Man City, which everybody in the Premier League right now that wants to compete looks and compares their squad to, Man City and Liverpool. When they buy a player, they're like, does he start on Liverpool or City? Well, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. And Casemiro has a good chance of starting on one of those teams if they play two center defensive mids, obviously. But then there's the argument, who's better, Fabinho, Casemiro? Right now I think Casemiro is the best CDM in the world, just won the Champions League. So, now, I think this is very odd for Casemiro to want to go to Man United. Other than the pay raise. The pay raise is obviously going to be extreme, maybe around 400,000, around that kind of range. And I'm not saying low 300,000. I mean 380 is the least I see this weekly wage being. Max 450, around that range is going to be it. And that is, pretty insane pay increase. And, maybe it's deserving. I think, it is. And the thing is, Man United, they're overpaying. We'll be honest, because this is a 30-year-old center defensive midfielder. Yes, I think he has 2-3 good years of football left. And you're giving him 4 years with an option of 5, and obviously 35-year-old Casemiro is going to be like, give me that $400K a week. So this is looking like a 5-year deal. Don't think this is we're getting prime Casemiro, and once he's finished, we're going to let him go. No. That is not happening. Casemiro will be there for 5 years, and could this be a Bastian Schweinsteiger type of deal where he comes in, older to Man United and doesn't perform like he did with his old club where he was, one of the best? I think that's a very, very possible thing. The thing about Man United is it's a graveyard for careers, and, maybe this happens to Casemiro. If I'm going to be honest, I think Man United were going to be a mid-table team if they didn't make any moves. I'm not going to lie. I had them predicted to be 6th place. The way they've been playing, they look terrible, and I think they would probably be, around 12th to 9th would be the position they finished. But now they're getting Casemiro. All this noise is coming around with all these players, and guess what? Now I think they're going to solidify their spot in the top 6. Will it be top 4? I think now they maybe compete, Just because they started off with 2 losses in a row, and maybe if they get even 3, you look at Arsenal last year, loses their first 3 matches against Brentford as well. They get destroyed by City. Then, they lose to Chelsea. And now over here, you get destroyed by Brentford, you lose to Brighton, and now if you lose to Liverpool, similar start, and Arsenal were a win away from being in the Champions League. So just because you start off bad doesn't mean you're completely written off. I think there's still a huge possibility Man United could end up, competing for top 4. So what do I think about this signing? Where does this affect Man United? I think they are going to do extremely well, and I think they get 6th place. Yep. Extremely well for 6th place, because all the noise that's been going on, a rebuild with Eric Ten Hag, this year is a write-off. And I'm surprised they even went for Casemiro. I think the Glazers saw that the fans were not very accepting that they needed a rebuild, and they're going to have a couple losing seasons where they're going to be around like in the mid-table, 6th, 7th, around those position. They're like, you know what, we'll bring in a big boy like Casemiro and we'll shut him up for a little bit. And yeah, I think that's at the end of the day what this is. Casemiro, there's no way that he thinks he's going to, play better football. He's going from the winners of the Champions League to Europa League. There's no way you say, I want that, with any other factors that aren't relating to your pay raise. So I think Casemiro, this is a good move for him personally, because he's basically won everything but the World Cup. World Cup's coming up, and there's no absolute way this guy does not go to the World Cup with Brazil as long as he's healthy. So really, I think Casemiro's like, I'm going to get the bag, compete in the World Cup, and then boom. Hopefully he wins it, is his mentality, and then he's going to be like, I've won everything, and I'm here cashing my checks. I think that's what we possibly can see, but I think the first year will be fine. Now, leave a comment down below on what you think Casemiro to Man United, it's going to affect the season for them. What effects will Casemiro and his career go on? Does he come in and just cash in his checks, or is he coming in to play football and, bring up the club? We'll see. But anyways, leave a like if you think Man United will get top 6. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.